James was a discreet millionaire whose wealth was not evident in his outward appearance. He preferred simple, modest clothing that concealed his true economic status. This choice was not just aesthetic, but a reflection of his personal values. James believed in a philosophy of material detachment and found joy in living a life of simplicity. Despite his vast fortune, he avoided flaunting his wealth and instead chose to blend in with everyday people. His lifestyle often made him go unnoticed, even in affluent circles, where appearance was everything. On the other hand, Linda was a young, ambitious woman working in a prestigious high-end company where appearance and social status were highly valued. Her career was her primary focus, and she constantly strove to climb the corporate ladder. Linda believed that image and public perception were crucial for success, a belief that influenced every aspect of her life. She invested heavily in her wardrobe and appearance to project an image of success and sophistication. This drive for recognition sometimes overshadowed her other qualities, making her seem superficial to those who didn't know her well. James's motivations and emotions were deeply rooted in his preference for humility and simplicity. He felt that true value lay in one's character and wisdom, not in material possessions. His wealth allowed him to live luxuriously, but he chose a modest lifestyle to stay grounded. This often led to him being underestimated by those who judged based on appearance. However, James found contentment in his choices, even if it meant being misunderstood by society. His approach to life was a testament to his belief that happiness didn't come from wealth, but from within. Linda, driven by her professional aspirations, constantly sought recognition in her field. She worked tirelessly, often sacrificing personal time and relationships to achieve her goals. Linda's struggle for recognition was fueled by her belief that success was measured by external validation. This mindset sometimes blinded her to the deeper values that James cherished. Despite her seemingly superficial nature, Linda had a depth that was often overshadowed by her ambition. Her journey was not just about professional success, but also about finding her true self in a world that valued appearances. The initial relationship between James and Linda was tense, marked by prejudices and misunderstandings. James saw Linda as the epitome of everything he rejected: superficiality and materialism. Linda, in turn, assumed that James was poor due to his modest appearance and treated him accordingly. This misunderstanding created a barrier between them, fueled by their differing worldviews. However, their interactions also held the potential for growth and transformation, as they both had lessons to learn from each other. Their story was a reflection of a broader societal conflict between appearance and substance. James's humble demeanor often left him feeling isolated in a world obsessed with material wealth. He found solace in simple pleasures and meaningful relationships. His emotions were a tapestry of contentment with his choices and frustration at being misunderstood. This internal conflict shaped his interactions with Linda, who represented the societal values he sought to distance himself from. Despite this, James remained steadfast in his beliefs, hoping to find those who appreciated him for who he was, not what he owned. Linda's journey was one of self-discovery as she navigated the high-stakes corporate world. Her ambitions were not just about climbing the corporate ladder, but also about finding her true self. The pressure to conform to societal expectations often clashed with her innate values, creating an internal struggle. Linda's interactions with James began to challenge her perceptions, forcing her to reevaluate what truly mattered. Through this process, Linda started to see beyond appearances, realizing that true worth was found in character, not in material possessions. As their relationship evolved, James and Linda began to understand and appreciate each other's perspectives. James saw the potential in Linda beyond her ambition and superficiality. He recognized her drive and determination, qualities that he admired. Linda, in turn, began to see James's wisdom and depth, qualities that she had overlooked due to her initial judgments. Their evolving relationship became a journey of mutual growth and understanding, breaking down the barriers created by their prejudices. James's experience of being judged based on his appearance made him more empathetic towards others who faced similar prejudices. He used his wealth and influence to help those who were often overlooked or underestimated by society. This philanthropic side of James was a well-kept secret, known only to those he helped. His humility extended to his acts of kindness, which he performed without seeking recognition. This aspect of his character added another layer of depth to his personality, making him a truly remarkable individual. Linda's realization of her superficial judgments led to a profound transformation in her attitude. She began to question the values she had held dear and started to seek a more meaningful path. This shift was not easy, as it required her to confront her own insecurities and societal pressures. However, Linda's journey of self-reflection and growth was a testament to her resilience and strength. She slowly started to prioritize character and wisdom over appearance, reshaping her personal and professional relationships. The tension between James and Linda eventually gave way to mutual respect and admiration. Their initial misunderstandings became the foundation for a deeper connection as they learned to see beyond the surface. James's humility and Linda's ambition, though initially at odds, complemented each other in unexpected ways. They both had qualities that the other lacked, creating a balance that enriched their lives. This unexpected bond was a testament to the transformative power of empathy and understanding. Through their interactions, James and Linda began to influence each other's lives profoundly. James's perspective on humility and material detachment started to resonate with Linda, while Linda's drive and ambition inspired James to pursue new ventures. This mutual influence led to personal and professional growth for both of them. They started to collaborate on projects that combined their strengths, creating a synergy that neither had anticipated. This collaboration became a symbol of their evolving relationship and the lessons they had learned from each other. Their story was a journey of transformation, where initial judgments gave way to deeper understanding and mutual respect. James and Linda's evolving relationship became a powerful narrative about the importance of looking beyond appearances and valuing the essence of a person. Their journey was a reminder that true worth lies in character and wisdom, not in material possessions. As they continued to learn from each other, their story became a testament to the transformative power of empathy and understanding. The day began like any other for James, who decided to venture into a luxury store in search of a special gift. Dressed in his usual modest attire, he blended into the bustling city streets unnoticed. The luxury store, with its grand displays and opulent decor, stood in stark contrast to James's simple appearance. As he entered, the shimmering lights and elegant ambience created a world that seemed far removed from his own. Yet, James moved with quiet confidence, undeterred by the outward displays of wealth that surrounded him. Linda was working her shift at the store, meticulously organizing the high-end merchandise. Her attention to detail and polished appearance were a testament to her dedication and ambition. As she glanced up and saw James enter, her initial reaction was one of disdain. Dressed modestly, James did not fit the image of the store's typical clientele. Linda, valuing appearances and status, immediately assumed he was out of place. She approached him with a forced smile, masking her judgment with a veneer of professionalism. James, unaware of Linda's prejudices, began browsing the store, looking for the perfect gift. He was drawn to a particular item, something unique and meaningful. As he examined it, Linda's patience began to wane. She approached him again, this time with a hint of irritation in her voice. "Can I help you find something within your budget?" she asked, her tone dripping with condescension. James looked up, taken aback by her assumption, but chose to remain polite. He simply nodded and continued his search. Linda's colleagues watched the interaction with curiosity, sensing the tension in the air. They were used to seeing wealthy clients treated with utmost respect, and this deviation from the norm piqued their interest. Linda, feeling emboldened by their attention, decided to escalate the situation. She stepped closer to James and said, "I'm not sure if we have anything here that suits your needs." Her words, though seemingly helpful, were laced with judgment. James, feeling the weight of her disdain, decided to confront the situation head-on. "Actually, I was looking for something special," James replied calmly, meeting Linda's gaze. His eyes held a quiet strength, a hint of his true nature beneath the modest exterior. Linda, momentarily taken aback by his composure, quickly recovered and maintained her dismissive attitude. She gestured towards a less expensive section of the store, clearly indicating her belief that he belonged there. James, maintaining his dignity, thanked her and walked towards the suggested area, not wanting to create a scene. The other customers and employees continued to watch, the atmosphere thick with anticipation. Linda's actions had created an uncomfortable tension, and everyone was curious to see how it would unfold. James's calm demeanor only served to heighten the contrast between his inner strength and Linda's superficial judgments. As he browsed the items, James's mind raced with thoughts about the situation. He wondered why appearances held such power over people's perceptions and felt a pang of frustration at being misjudged. Linda, meanwhile, felt a sense of satisfaction. In her mind, she had successfully put James in his place, reinforcing her belief in the importance of appearances. She returned to her colleagues, who whispered in agreement, further validating her actions. However, a small part of her couldn't shake the feeling that she might have been too harsh. This fleeting doubt was quickly dismissed as she immersed herself back into her work, confident in her judgment. James, after some time, decided he had seen enough. He chose an item he felt was suitable and made his way to the checkout. Linda, seeing him approach, braced herself for another uncomfortable interaction. "Did you find what you were looking for?" she asked, her tone still tinged with condescension. James nodded, placing the item on the counter. Linda rang up the purchase, her eyes scanning him with a mix of curiosity and judgment. As he handed her his credit card, Linda's eyes widened in surprise. The card was a prestigious black card, one that only the wealthy possessed. Linda's face flushed with embarrassment as she processed the transaction. She realized she had severely misjudged him, and a wave of regret washed over her. James, noticing her reaction, offered a polite smile. "Thank you," he said simply, taking his purchase and leaving the store. Linda stood there, speechless, as the weight of her mistake settled in. Her colleagues, who had witnessed the entire exchange, looked at her with a mixture of amusement and disbelief. As James exited the store, he couldn't help but feel a sense of vindication. He had handled the situation with grace, choosing not to reveal his true identity. The experience, though uncomfortable, reinforced his belief in the importance of character over appearance. He hoped that the encounter would serve as a lesson for Linda and others who judged based on superficial traits. James walked away, his thoughts now focused on the gift he had purchased and the person it was meant for. Linda, left behind in the store, began to reflect on her actions. The encounter with James had shaken her confidence, forcing her to confront her own biases. She realized that she had allowed her obsession with appearances to cloud her judgment. This realization was the first step in her journey towards personal growth. Linda vowed to change her approach, determined to see beyond the surface and appreciate people for who they truly were. As she resumed her work, a newfound humility began to take root within her. The tension from the initial encounter lingered in the air, creating an atmosphere ripe for change. James and Linda's paths had crossed in a way that challenged their perceptions and set the stage for a deeper understanding. This intriguing initial situation was just the beginning of a transformative journey for both of them. The lessons learned from this encounter would ripple through their lives, influencing their actions and interactions in ways they had yet to realize. The stage was now set for the next chapter in their story. The day following James's visit to the luxury store, Linda found herself in a whirlwind of thoughts. The encounter had left a mark on her, but she was determined to put it behind her and focus on her work. As the morning progressed, the store began to fill with its usual clientele, affluent individuals who fit the store's high-end image. Linda, regaining her confidence, moved through her tasks with practiced ease. Yet, a lingering doubt from her previous misjudgment hovered in the back of her mind. James, on the other hand, decided to revisit the store. He felt a compelling need to address the situation further, not out of spite, but from a desire to challenge the superficial judgments he had encountered. Dressed again in his modest attire, James entered the store with a calm demeanor, ready to see how the day would unfold. As he walked in, the atmosphere seemed to shift subtly, though only a few employees noticed his arrival. Linda, engaged in assisting a high-profile client, caught a glimpse of James from the corner of her eye. Her heart skipped a beat, a mixture of surprise and apprehension washing over her. Determined to maintain her composure, she continued her conversation, though her thoughts were now divided. She couldn't help but recall her previous interaction with James and the embarrassment that followed. Her mind raced with the potential repercussions if she repeated her mistake. As James perused the store, Linda's colleague, Mark, approached him with a welcoming smile. Unlike Linda, Mark had a more open-minded approach to customers, treating everyone with equal respect. "Good morning, sir. Can I assist you with anything today?" he asked. James appreciated the genuine kindness and nodded, explaining that he was looking for another special gift. Their interaction was observed by Linda, who felt a pang of regret for her previous behavior. However, the real conflict was yet to unfold. Another client, noticing James's modest appearance, whispered something to Linda, implying that James was out of place. This remark reignited Linda's initial prejudices. Despite her internal conflict, she felt pressure to maintain the store's image, influenced by the judgmental comment. Gathering her resolve, she decided to intervene, albeit with a softer approach than before. "Excuse me, sir," Linda said as she approached James, her tone more controlled but still tinged with reservation. "Is there something specific you're looking for today?" James, recognizing the familiar face, met Linda's gaze calmly. "Yes, I'm looking for something unique, perhaps a new addition to my collection," he replied. Linda, unsure of how to proceed, hesitated for a moment. The tension between her desire to uphold the store's reputation and her lingering guilt created a palpable strain. Other employees and clients sensed the awkwardness, making the atmosphere even more charged. Linda's attempt to assist James was interrupted when a higher-ranking employee, Mr. Thompson, entered the scene. He had been informed of the previous day's incident and was keen to ensure no further misunderstandings occurred. "Is there a problem here?" he asked, his authoritative tone cutting through the tension. Linda quickly stepped back, her confidence wavering. James looked at Mr. Thompson and decided to speak up. "No problem at all. Just a friendly inquiry about some of your unique items," he said with a polite smile. Mr. Thompson, sensing the underlying tension, decided to take over. "Allow me to personally assist you, sir," he offered, leading James to a more exclusive section of the store. Linda watched, feeling a mix of relief and humiliation. She realized that her actions were once again under scrutiny, and the possibility of repercussions loomed large. The event was a significant conflict, not just for James and Linda, but for the store's reputation and internal dynamics. As Mr. Thompson and James conversed, Linda was left to reflect on her actions. The repeated encounter with James highlighted her struggle between professional expectations and personal growth. She began to understand the depth of her error and the importance of looking beyond appearances. The conflict had created a crack in her self-assured exterior, prompting a re-evaluation of her values and behavior. She knew that another mistake could have severe consequences for her career. James, meanwhile, appreciated Mr. Thompson's intervention, but remained focused on his underlying mission. He hoped that his repeated presence would encourage a change in attitude within the store. The initial embarrassment had given way to a determination to challenge and educate through his actions. The conflict, though uncomfortable, was necessary for the transformation he sought to inspire. He believed that true change often stemmed from challenging situations like these. Linda's colleagues, observing the unfolding events, whispered among themselves. Some sympathized with her, understanding the pressure she faced, while others felt she deserved the scrutiny for her prejudicial behavior. This internal conflict among the staff mirrored the larger issue of superficial judgments within the store. The challenge was not just Linda's to face, but a collective opportunity for growth and change within their work environment. The situation reached a pivotal moment when Mr. Thompson, after assisting James, returned to address the staff. He emphasized the importance of treating every customer with respect and highlighted the potential damage caused by superficial judgments. His words were a stark reminder of the values the store claimed to uphold but often failed to practice. Linda listened intently, feeling the weight of his message and her role in the unfolding drama. As James left the store, he glanced back briefly, his expression unreadable. Linda watched him go, knowing that the conflict had left a lasting impact on her. She realized that the true challenge lay within herself, to change her mindset and actions. The experience had planted the seeds of transformation, setting the stage for her personal growth and a potential shift in the store's culture. The conflict had opened a door to deeper understanding and empathy, paving the way for the next phase of their intertwined journey. The days following James's second visit to the luxury store were filled with an unusual tension. Linda found it difficult to shake off the feeling of unease that lingered after each encounter with James. Her colleagues, sensing her discomfort, refrained from discussing the incident directly but exchanged knowing glances. The atmosphere in the store, usually vibrant with the energy of high-end shopping, was now tinged with an undercurrent of uncertainty and introspection. James, despite the uncomfortable experiences, remained resolute in his decision not to reveal his true identity immediately. He believed that the true measure of character came from how people treated those they perceived as ordinary. This belief drove his actions, and he decided to return to the store once more, this time with a clear plan to further challenge the superficial judgments he had encountered. The suspense of his next move hung in the air, creating an almost palpable sense of anticipation. Linda, grappling with her growing sense of guilt, tried to focus on her work. However, the memory of James's dignified composure in the face of her condescension haunted her. She couldn't help but wonder about the true nature of the man she had misjudged. This internal conflict gnawed at her, slowly chipping away at her self-assured exterior. The certainty with which she had previously navigated her professional life was now overshadowed by doubt and introspection. When James entered the store again, dressed in his usual modest attire, the tension escalated. Linda spotted him almost immediately, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and curiosity. She wasn't the only one who noticed. Her colleagues also felt the shift in the atmosphere. James's presence, once again understated yet powerful, commanded attention. Linda knew she had to face him, not just as a customer, but as a symbol of her own personal growth. As James walked through the store, Linda approached him with a newfound sense of humility. "Good afternoon, sir. How can I assist you today?" she asked, her voice soft but sincere. James looked at her, recognizing the change in her demeanor. He could see the struggle in her eyes, the battle between her professional facade and her genuine desire to make amends. This moment of vulnerability was significant, marking the beginning of a potential transformation. James, sensing Linda's inner turmoil, decided to maintain his composure and kindness. "I'm looking for something special, perhaps a unique piece that stands out," he replied, his tone gentle. Linda nodded, her mind racing with thoughts of how to rectify her previous behavior. She led James to a section of the store with exclusive items, each piece carefully curated for discerning customers. The suspense of his true identity loomed large, creating a charged atmosphere. Linda's colleagues watched from a distance, curious about how the interaction would unfold. They had witnessed her previous misjudgments and were now eager to see if she would redeem herself. The air was thick with anticipation, each moment stretching as Linda and James navigated their conversation. The subtle tension between them was palpable, a dance of words and actions that held the potential for profound change. As Linda explained the features of a particularly exquisite item, she found herself genuinely engaged in the conversation. Her previous prejudices were overshadowed by a sincere desire to connect with James on a human level. This shift did not go unnoticed by James, who appreciated her effort. The intense emotions from their earlier encounters had evolved into a delicate balance of respect and curiosity. The development of their conflict had reached a crucial juncture. James, ever observant, decided to test the waters further. "I appreciate your assistance, Linda," he said, deliberately using her name. The familiarity of his address caught her off guard, but she quickly recovered. "Thank you, sir. I hope this item meets your expectations," she replied, her voice steady despite the butterflies in her stomach. This exchange, though simple, was laden with deeper meaning. It was a step towards breaking down the barriers that had initially defined their interactions. The other employees, sensing the shift in dynamics, began to question their own behaviors and judgments. Linda's transformation, though subtle, served as a catalyst for broader introspection within the store. The suspense of James's true identity continued to loom, adding to the charged atmosphere. Each interaction between James and Linda was a step towards unraveling the deeper layers of their characters, and the superficial judgments that had initially clouded their perceptions. James decided to push the envelope further. This piece is indeed special, but I'm also looking for something with a personal touch. Do you have any recommendations? He asked, his eyes locked on Linda's. The intensity of his gaze made her pause, but she quickly gathered her thoughts. We have a selection of items crafted by local artisans. They carry a unique charm and personal touch, she suggested, leading him to another section of the store. As they walked, the subtle tension between them began to ease. Linda's genuine effort to assist James was met with his calm appreciation, creating a mutual understanding. The development of their conflict had reached a point where both were learning and evolving. The atmosphere, once charged with judgment and superficiality, was slowly transforming into one of respect and empathy. This shift was not just about Linda and James, but a reflection of the broader change within the store. Linda's colleagues continued to watch, some inspired by her change, others still skeptical. The suspense of James's true identity lingered, adding to the overall tension. Each moment was a step towards a deeper revelation, both for Linda and for the store as a whole. The conflict had become a catalyst for change, pushing everyone involved to reconsider their values and behaviors. As James and Linda's interaction continued, it became clear that the development of their conflict was leading to something much more profound. The following day, the luxury store was bustling with activity. Customers perused the aisles, and the staff was busy attending to their needs. The air was filled with the usual hum of business, but there was an undercurrent of anticipation. James had decided to visit the store once more, but this time, his approach would be different. He arrived in his luxury car, dressed impeccably, a stark contrast to his previous visits. The transformation was deliberate, a calculated move to reveal his true identity and challenge the superficial judgments that had plagued his earlier interactions. As James stepped out of his car, heads turned. His appearance and the vehicle he drove commanded attention. The store's facade, usually a symbol of exclusivity, now seemed to mirror the tension within. James walked confidently towards the entrance, his presence exuding an aura of understated power. The atmosphere inside the store shifted noticeably as he entered, the staff and customers alike taken aback by his transformation. Linda was assisting a customer when she noticed James. Her eyes widened in disbelief, a flush of recognition and embarrassment coloring her cheeks. The man she had misjudged and treated with condescension now stood before her, radiating wealth and sophistication. The realization of her mistake hit her like a wave, and she struggled to maintain her composure. The turning point was here, and Linda felt its weight bearing down on her. James approached the counter where Linda stood, the tension between them palpable. Her colleagues, sensing the significance of the moment, discreetly observed from a distance. Linda's heart pounded as she forced herself to speak. "Good afternoon, sir. How can I assist you today?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly. James met her gaze, his expression calm but inscrutable. "I'm here to finalize a purchase I was considering," he replied, his voice steady and composed. Linda's colleagues exchanged glances, the atmosphere thick with suspense. The store, usually a sanctuary of luxury and superficiality, now felt like the stage for a profound revelation. Linda, trying to regain her professional demeanor, led James to a private section of the store where high-end items were displayed. The employees and customers watched in hushed anticipation, the unfolding drama captivating their attention. As Linda showed James the items, she struggled with her emotions. The realization of her mistake and the stark contrast between her initial assumptions and the reality before her was overwhelming. James, noticing her discomfort, decided it was time to reveal his true identity. He picked up an exquisite piece and turned to Linda. "I believe this will be perfect. By the way, I should properly introduce myself. My name is James Whitmore," he said, extending his hand. Linda's face drained of color as the name registered. James Whitmore was a well-known philanthropist and businessman, respected and admired for his humility and wisdom. The full impact of her earlier judgments and behavior crashed down on her. She shook his hand, her own trembling. "It's an honor to meet you, Mr. Whitmore. I had no idea," she stammered, her voice barely above a whisper. The shock and awe were mirrored in the faces of her colleagues and the onlookers. James smiled kindly, his demeanor unchanged. "It's quite all right, Linda. We all make mistakes. What's important is that we learn from them," he said gently. His words, though simple, carried a profound weight. Linda felt a mix of shame and gratitude, recognizing the opportunity for growth that lay before her. The turning point had arrived, and with it, the chance for transformation. As the realization of James's true identity spread through the store, the atmosphere shifted from one of suspense to reflection. The employees, who had watched the drama unfold, were now confronted with their own judgments and biases. James's presence, his humility, and the revelation of his identity served as a powerful reminder of the superficiality that often clouded their perceptions. James continued to speak, addressing not just Linda, but everyone within earshot. "Wealth and appearance are fleeting. What truly matters is how we treat each other, regardless of outward appearances. Humility and kindness should guide our actions," he said, his voice carrying a quiet authority. The impact of his words resonated deeply, leaving an indelible mark on those who heard them. Linda, overwhelmed by the moment, found herself reflecting on her own values and behavior. The turning point was not just about her interaction with James, but about her own journey towards personal growth and understanding. She realized that true transformation required more than just superficial changes. It demanded a deeper introspection and a willingness to change from within. As James concluded his purchase, he turned to Linda one last time. "Thank you for your assistance, Linda. I hope this experience has been as enlightening for you as it has been for me," he said with a gentle smile. Linda nodded, unable to find the words to express her gratitude and regret. The climax of their interaction had brought with it a profound lesson, one that would shape her actions and attitudes moving forward. The store, now quiet with the weight of the revelation, felt like a different place. The turning point had not just been a moment of individual reckoning, but a catalyst for broader change. James's visit, his revelation, and his words had left a lasting impact, challenging the superficial judgments that had previously defined the store's culture. The stage was set for the next chapter, one where humility and kindness could flourish. The transformation in the luxury store was palpable in the days following James's revealing visit. The staff, previously absorbed in maintaining an image of exclusivity and wealth, now found themselves reflecting on the deeper values that James had highlighted. Linda, in particular, was deeply affected by the experience. The turning point had not just been an external event, but a catalyst for her personal transformation. She knew she needed to make amends and prove that she had truly learned from her mistakes. James, recognizing the potential for positive change, decided to visit the store one last time. This visit was not to test the staff or challenge their perceptions, but to offer an olive branch and foster a sense of understanding and growth. He arrived, as always, with a calm demeanor, ready to engage with the staff and Linda on a deeper level. The atmosphere in the store was different now, filled with anticipation but also a sense of hopeful expectation. Linda saw James enter and immediately approached him, her heart filled with a mix of gratitude and apprehension. "Mr. Whitmore, welcome back. How can I assist you today?" she asked, her voice steady but infused with genuine warmth. James smiled, sensing her sincerity. "I wanted to talk to you, Linda, and the rest of the staff, if that's all right," he replied. Linda nodded, her eyes reflecting a newfound respect and readiness to listen. James gathered the staff in a quiet corner of the store. The employees, curious and somewhat anxious, formed a small circle around him. He began to speak, his voice carrying a calm authority. "I appreciate the efforts and professionalism you all bring to your work, but I want to emphasize something important. True wealth is not measured by the clothes we wear or the cars we drive. It's measured by our kindness, our empathy, and how we treat others," he said, his words resonating deeply with the audience. Linda listened intently, her earlier embarrassment giving way to a profound sense of learning and acceptance. She realized that this moment was a gift, an opportunity to grow and redefine her values. James's forgiveness and wisdom were guiding lights in her journey towards becoming a better person. She felt a deep sense of gratitude and a determination to carry these lessons forward in her life and career. James continued, turning his attention specifically to Linda. Linda, your journey has just begun. Mistakes are part of being human, but what defines us is how we respond to them. I see great potential in you, and I hope you will use this experience to grow and inspire others, he said. Linda's eyes welled up with tears, not of sadness, but of hope and resolution. She nodded, her voice barely above a whisper. Thank you, Mr. Whitmore. I will do my best to live up to your expectations. The heartfelt resolution of the conflict was marked by a sense of closure and new beginnings. James's words had not only impacted Linda, but had also resonated with the entire staff. The store, once a symbol of superficiality and judgment, now felt like a place of learning and personal growth. The atmosphere was lighter, filled with a sense of shared purpose and understanding. James, feeling the positive shift, decided to take a step further. I'd like to offer some advice, both professional and personal. I've learned over the years that success is not just about what you achieve, but how you achieve it. Building relationships, understanding people's stories, and approaching life with humility and empathy are keys to true fulfillment, he said. His advice, simple yet profound, left a lasting impression on everyone present. Linda, inspired by James's words, made a silent vow to herself. She would not let this experience fade into a mere memory. Instead, she would actively work towards embodying the values of kindness, empathy, and humility in her daily interactions. She realized that her journey was just beginning, and she was eager to embrace the changes that lay ahead. The resolution of her conflict with James had opened a door to a brighter, more meaningful path. As the staff dispersed, Linda found herself alone with James. She felt an overwhelming urge to express her gratitude once more. Mr. Whitmore, I can't thank you enough for your patience and understanding. You've taught me more than any professional training ever could, she said, her voice filled with sincerity. James smiled warmly, his eyes reflecting the wisdom and compassion that had guided his actions. I'm glad I could help, Linda. Remember, every day is an opportunity to learn and grow. Embrace it, he replied. The heartfelt resolution extended beyond the immediate moment. The lessons learned and the values highlighted by James began to permeate the store's culture. Employees treated each other and their customers with renewed respect and empathy. The superficial judgments that once defined the store's interactions were gradually replaced by a genuine effort to understand and appreciate each individual story. Linda, now a beacon of positive change, took it upon herself to mentor new employees. She shared her experiences and the profound lessons she had learned from James, hoping to inspire others to look beyond appearances and value the essence of people. Her transformation was a testament to the power of humility, forgiveness, and the willingness to change. The store, once a place of superficiality, had become a nurturing ground for personal growth and meaningful connections. James's impact lingered long after he had left the store. His words and actions had planted seeds of change that continued to grow and flourish. The heartfelt resolution of the conflict had not only transformed Linda, but had also set in motion a ripple effect that touched everyone in the store. The journey of personal growth and understanding was ongoing, but the foundation laid by James's wisdom and kindness ensured that it was a path towards a brighter, more compassionate future. The luxury store was a testament to opulence and elegance. The entrance was adorned with sleek, glass doors that opened to reveal a world of polished marble floors and sparkling crystal chandeliers. The air inside was scented with a subtle hint of vanilla and jasmine, creating an inviting yet sophisticated atmosphere. Each display case was meticulously arranged, showcasing an array of high-end merchandise, from designer handbags to exquisite jewelry, all glistening under the soft, ambient lighting. James's modest attire stood in stark contrast to the store's grandeur. His simple clothes, a plain shirt and worn jeans, seemed almost out of place amidst the polished surroundings. Yet, there was an understated elegance in his simplicity, a quiet confidence that drew attention despite his humble appearance. His demeanor was calm and composed, his every movement deliberate and measured. This juxtaposition of modesty and sophistication highlighted the essence of his character, a man of wealth who valued humility above all. Linda, always impeccably dressed, embodied the epitome of professionalism. Her tailored suit, perfectly coiffed hair, and subtle makeup reflected her dedication to maintaining a polished image. She moved with an air of grace and confidence, her every gesture exuding a sense of authority. However, beneath this exterior, her recent encounters with James had sparked a transformation, infusing her interactions with a newfound depth and sincerity. This change was evident in the softening of her features and the genuine warmth in her smile. The store's interior was a sensory delight. The cool touch of the marble floors contrasted with the warm glow of the chandeliers. Soft classical music played in the background, adding a layer of sophistication to the ambience. The rustle of designer fabrics and the gentle clink of fine jewelry created a symphony of luxury that enveloped every visitor. The visual splendor was matched by the tactile pleasure of handling finely crafted items, each piece a testament to impeccable craftsmanship. The tension in the air was almost tangible when James, dressed in his humble attire, first entered the store. The staff's initial reaction was a mixture of curiosity and disdain, their glances quickly shifting to whispers. The contrast between James's simplicity and the store's opulence created an underlying current of suspense. This tension was heightened by the soft murmur of conversations and the occasional sharp intake of breath as employees and customers alike reacted to his presence. When James returned in his luxury car, the atmosphere shifted dramatically. The sleek, black vehicle, a symbol of wealth and status, glided effortlessly to a stop at the store's entrance. As James stepped out, his appearance was a stark contrast to his previous visits. Dressed in a tailored suit that highlighted his sophisticated taste, he exuded an aura of power and authority. The transformation was complete, and the store's patrons and staff were left in awe, their earlier judgments crumbling in the face of his true identity. Linda's reaction to James's transformation was a study in contrasts. Her initial shock gave way to a profound sense of realization. The flush of embarrassment on her cheeks was mirrored by the warmth of understanding in her eyes. As she guided James through the store, her voice was steady, but her hands trembled slightly, betraying the emotional upheaval within. The vividness of her emotions was palpable, creating a powerful visual and sensory narrative that underscored the significance of their interactions. James's decision to reveal his true identity brought a cascade of emotions. The staff, who had once dismissed him, now looked on with a mix of respect and curiosity. The ambience, once marked by superficiality, was now charged with a deeper understanding. The subtle changes in lighting, the shift in the tone of conversations, and the newfound attentiveness of the staff all contributed to a transformed environment. This sensory shift mirrored the internal transformations of those involved, adding layers of meaning to the unfolding narrative. The final conversation between James and Linda was set against the backdrop of the store's most exquisite section. The items on display, each more luxurious than the last, seemed to fade into the background as the emotional intensity of their dialogue took center stage. The soft hum of the air conditioning, the distant notes of classical music, and the muted footsteps of other patrons created a cocoon of intimacy around them. The sensory details of the environment enhanced the emotional weight of their exchange, making every word and gesture resonate deeply. The visual impact of James's modesty juxtaposed with the store's luxury created a powerful narrative device. His transformation from a seemingly ordinary man to a figure of immense wealth highlighted the superficial judgments that often cloud human interactions. This contrast was visually stunning, reinforcing the themes of humility, character, and true worth. The sensory richness of the store, combined with the emotional depth of the characters, created a vivid tapestry that drew the audience into the story, making them feel every nuance of the unfolding drama. Linda's journey of transformation was marked by a series of sensory and emotional milestones. The initial embarrassment of misjudging James, the shock of his true identity, and the profound lessons learned were all reflected in her changing demeanor. The visual and sensory elements of the store served as a backdrop to her internal growth, each detail contributing to a richer understanding of her character. The store, once a symbol of superficiality, had become a stage for profound personal growth and transformation. The culmination of their interactions left a lasting impression on the store and its staff. The once rigid atmosphere of judgment and superficiality was replaced by a sense of openness and empathy. The sensory details of the store, from the elegant displays to the ambient music, now served as reminders of the deeper values that James had imparted. The vividness of the environment and the emotional depth of the characters created a narrative that was both visually stunning and deeply moving. The final days following James's visits were filled with a profound sense of introspection and transformation. The luxury store, once a bastion of superficiality, had become a place where deeper values were beginning to take root. Linda, in particular, was undergoing a significant personal journey. Her interactions with James had left an indelible mark on her, prompting a re-evaluation of her priorities and beliefs. This journey was not just professional but deeply personal, and it resonated with everyone around her. James's influence extended beyond his interactions with Linda. His presence and the lessons he imparted had a ripple effect throughout the store. Employees began to question their own judgments and biases, leading to a more inclusive and empathetic environment. The superficial judgments that once dominated their interactions were gradually replaced by genuine efforts to understand and appreciate each individual. This shift created a stronger emotional connection among the staff, fostering a sense of community and mutual respect. Linda's journey was marked by moments of vulnerability and growth. She reflected on her initial judgments and the profound impact of her mistakes. This introspection was a painful but necessary process, leading her to a deeper understanding of herself and her values. She realized that true worth was not determined by outward appearances but by character and kindness. This realization was a turning point in her life, influencing not only her professional behavior but also her personal relationships. James's decision to remain humble and composed throughout his encounters with Linda and the staff showcased his deep understanding of human nature. His ability to forgive and offer guidance, even in the face of prejudice, highlighted his character's strength and wisdom. This approach created a powerful emotional connection with Linda, who saw in James a mentor and guide. His actions spoke louder than words, and his humility left a lasting impression on everyone who witnessed it. The emotional connection between James and Linda grew stronger with each interaction. James's calm demeanor and Linda's sincere efforts to change created a dynamic of mutual respect and understanding. This connection was not immediate, but developed gradually as Linda's transformation unfolded. James's influence helped Linda see beyond her initial prejudices and embrace a more empathetic and inclusive worldview. This evolving relationship was a testament to the power of humility and forgiveness. Linda's colleagues noticed the change in her and began to reflect on their own behaviors. The store's atmosphere shifted from one of judgment to one of support and empathy. Employees started to share their own stories and experiences, creating a more open and accepting environment. This change was fueled by the emotional connections forged through shared experiences and the lessons learned from James's visits. The store, once a symbol of exclusivity, had become a place of growth and understanding. James's philosophy of humility and kindness resonated deeply with Linda. She began to incorporate these values into her daily life, both at work and at home. Her interactions with customers became more genuine, and she started to see each person as an individual rather than a potential sale. This shift in perspective created a more positive and fulfilling work environment, benefiting not only Linda but also her colleagues and customers. The emotional connection fostered by James's influence had a lasting impact on the store's culture. The moments of vulnerability Linda experienced were crucial to her transformation. She realized that admitting her mistakes and learning from them was a sign of strength, not weakness. This vulnerability created a deeper emotional connection with James, who admired her willingness to change. Their interactions became a source of inspiration for Linda, guiding her towards a more meaningful and compassionate approach to life. This journey of growth and understanding was a testament to the power of empathy and self-reflection. As the store's culture evolved, the emotional connections among the staff strengthened. Employees began to support each other more, sharing their experiences and learning together. This sense of community and mutual respect was a direct result of James's influence and the lessons he imparted. The emotional depth of their interactions created a supportive environment where everyone felt valued and appreciated. This transformation highlighted the importance of empathy and understanding in creating a positive and inclusive workplace. James's final visit to the store was marked by a sense of closure and new beginnings. He saw the changes in Linda and the staff and felt a deep sense of satisfaction. His efforts had not only impacted individual lives, but had also transformed the store's culture. As he said his goodbyes, he left behind a legacy of humility and kindness. The emotional connections he had forged would continue to influence the store long after his departure, creating a lasting impact on everyone involved. Linda's transformation was complete, but her journey was just beginning. She embraced the lessons learned from James and continued to grow both personally and professionally. Her interactions with customers and colleagues were now guided by empathy and understanding, creating a more positive and fulfilling environment. The emotional connection with James had been a catalyst for this change, and Linda was determined to carry these values forward in every aspect of her life. The store, once defined by superficiality and judgment, had become a place of growth and understanding. The emotional connections forged through shared experiences and the lessons learned from James's visits created a supportive and inclusive environment. The impact of these changes was felt by everyone, from employees to customers, creating a ripple effect that extended beyond the store. This transformation was a testament to the power of humility, empathy, and the profound influence of emotional connections. The story of James and Linda was one of personal growth, mutual respect, and the transformative power of humility and empathy. Their journey together highlighted the importance of looking beyond appearances and valuing the essence of each individual. The emotional connections they forged created a lasting impact, not only on their own lives, but also on the culture of the store. This narrative was a powerful reminder of the profound influence of kindness and understanding in creating a more compassionate and inclusive world. Thank you for joining us on this heartfelt journey. We hope the story of James and Linda has inspired you and touched your heart as much as it has ours. But this is just the beginning. There are many more stories waiting to be told, filled with lessons of humility, empathy, and transformation. Stay tuned for our next story, where unexpected twists and profound revelations will keep you on the edge of your seat. You won't want to miss it. Click on the video appearing on your screen now to continue this incredible journey of discovery and growth. If you believe in the power of these stories to inspire and transform, please subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. This way, you'll never miss an update and will always be the first to hear the latest and most moving stories we have to share. Additionally, if you'd like to support our channel and help us continue bringing these emotional and meaningful stories to life, consider contributing through the Buy Me a Coffee link pinned in the comments. Your support helps us keep creating and sharing the best content daily. Thank you for being a part of our community. We can't wait to share the next story with you.